Okay, Nick and Andy, Liverpool, Crystal Palace at Anfield. This is the beauty of a game this weekend. Obviously, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp are aiming to get back on track after that draw at Man United last week in the Premier League. Palace, they're badly out of form. Nick, I'm going to come to you first. This is all set up for a pretty routine, easy Liverpool home win, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking about what a difference a few years can make. And remember back to the Steven Gerrard slip and then Dwight Gale a couple of weeks later. And I looked to last week and they had a big mistake in the Liverpool game that I don't want to say gifted Bruno Fernandes a goal. He had plenty to do there still, though. But then you think, oh, could this be something where it is the beginning of something? And that's just not Liverpool. It's not them anymore. Of course, something could happen, but I have a hunch it won't be because they overlook Crystal Palace. And Palace is just I like the club. I respect the club, but I think there's a little bit of karma here for how they did Roy Hodgson, who came out of retirement to save them and has only been class for them. And I think there's a little bit of karma here. And I think Liverpool might get real karmic up at Anfield.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be a really interesting end to the season for Palace, given, how they've tried to change the style of play so drastically under Glasner. And I'm with you. I think we'll talk about Palace a lot and their struggles, but I really don't see them causing Liverpool too many problems this weekend, Andy. I mean, what about you? I mean, Liverpool will rotate maybe a little bit. They've got the Europa League quarterfinals either side of this. Obviously, Premier League is the priority. But they were a bit wasteful, right? And that draw at United seemed to really annoy Klopp. And they have the easiest schedule of the title contenders, don't they? When you look down the list compared to City and Arsenal, you're like, oh, Liverpool should take care of business and aren't many games they could slip up there. But that pressure almost got to them. And again, it is Man United, Liverpool. It is against their bitter rivals away at Old Trafford. You can understand why. But just a little something there didn't feel quite right about Liverpool last weekend.
I kind of disagree. They completely dominated that game, and United were not in it at all until what Nick mentioned, the mistake. Bruno Fernandes scoring from where he does. Kobe Mainoo scoring an incredible goal from absolutely nothing. Like, if they are allowing their opponent to work the ball into the final third and have little patterns, and they're opening the Liverpool defense up and creating consistent, even half chances, even quarter chances, eighth chances, 16th chances, then I might agree. But they did none of that up until the point that Liverpool the giveaway for that goal is, how many times a game does that happen? It just so happens to come to Bruno Fernandes, who can do something with it from that part of the field. And so that was such a circumstantial thing, I think, that game, for both sides, by the way, for United to get something out of it and for Liverpool to not win it, that they looked great. Like, the performance itself didn't look, too off the mark from what we've seen of them of late, and they've been really good of late. And so I kind of write it off. Obviously, the 2 points really, really hurt, and it drops them off the top spot. But if we're talking about, all due respect to Crystal Palace facing the Liverpool side that for the most part dominated Manchester United a week ago, I'm not too worried from a Liverpool perspective.
Yeah, I think the wastefulness thing can become a theme, right? I mean, this is a Liverpool team that scores goals for fun, but I think the way that they didn't take those chances, you can look back to a few other games recently where, they maybe just haven't been as clinical for the amount of chances they're creating. You just wonder if that's going to come back to bite them again down the stretch here. And again, they had the easiest schedule. And Nick, when we look at Palace, 1 win in 6 under Glasner, are we worried about them in the relegation scrap? I am a little bit, because if you look at their remaining schedule, they have some tough games there. There are no real easy games for them remaining. And yes, they cause City problems, especially on the counter-attack and transitions. We know that's how Palace had loved to play over the years, and their players very comfortable doing that, and they scored a couple against City. But they let in 4 as well, and that solidity seems to have gone, and I feel like there's a lot of confusion in this Palace team about exactly what they're being asked to do. And again, like a lot of PL teams this season, injuries have absolutely hit them very, very hard in key areas. So you can maybe understand, but they are properly limping towards the finish line of the season, aren't they?
Until Trent Alexander-Arnold comes back, I think Liverpool can be had in games where your left side is effective, and that's where Eze likes to operate. And so there's hope there. But we talked about this when they were injured. The team had to play defensively, and I don't know how much more open Roy Hodgson would have been had everyone been healthy again. I know Elise's good enough to come off the bench again as well. But you just look at the matchup and you look at what they looked like against Man City, and there's so much hope it takes to project Palace to get something out of a team like Liverpool. The only way Liverpool, again, can be beaten right now in any way is to go to that right flank where Klopp has continually chosen to go with Bradley and Kwanzaa over Gomez and Konate, and hope that you get mistakes like Kwanzaa made. And they have been minimal so far. Do we believe that the amount of mistakes Liverpool could make versus the chances one guy can make? And I know Mateta has scored and Ayu's been good, but Eze is them right now. And I just don't think Liverpool's not losing to a one-guy team right now. As good as Adam Wharton might be impressing us, as good as Anderson can be at the back, Liverpool's not going to lose to that one-guy team anymore.
Yeah, the reason I'm worried about Palace, you look at their 7 remaining games, I actually think there's one game there that they will be the favourites, and maybe they'll get a maximum of 4 to 6 points at the very, very maximum left. And with the way Luton are playing right now and some of the games that they have remaining, I don't know if that's going to be enough. So I feel like they're going to have to cause an upset against a Man United, a Villa, a Newcastle down the stretch if they're going to save themselves this season. I think, no one expected that from Crystal Palace at the start of the season.
But also, what if 30 points is enough, Joe? I mean, that's the thing. We have just it's got to take one team below them, staying below them. I don't think we're betting on Burnley finding 11 points to tie them and making up goal that we're not thinking. So it's one team below them. And I don't think it'll be Everton. I don't think it'll be Brentford, but Forest and Luton both finding 6 points is, I don't know. I just don't see.
And that's presuming Palace take none.
Right. If Palace take
probably
none.
3 wins from the final 6 games for those two teams, who between them have 13 wins on the season. They need to half.
Not good, Joe. Nobody's disagreeing.
They have been incredibly poor, and they've been sinking there for years now. This is not this just happened this season. What's going on at Crystal Palace? This has been slowly rotting from the inside. It seems like a lack of top level investment. It seems like a lot of different ideas about what direction the club is going in, and that's just not who's the manager, but what the kind of ethos of the club is going to be going forward. And they have been in that 13, 14, 15, 16 range for a lot of this season, for a lot of previous seasons, even if at the very end they've kind of snuck up into 12th, 11th, maybe even 10th, and made it look a little bit better than what some of the performances were on the field.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys know I'm a big Hatters guy, and I tipped them at the start of the season start. Their final 3 home games are home to Brentford, at home to Everton, and at home to Fulham on the final day. So I think pretty sure they're going to get at least 7 points from that 3. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. So that's my final point on Crystal Palace. I think they should be very, very concerned with how they're playing right now. And you can't turn it on like a tap, this momentum. They have nothing right now, apart from City giving them a few counterattacks and a much changed City side as well at the weekend. All right, prediction time. Nick Mendola, what do you fancy for this one, mate?
4-1 Liverpool.
Oh, seems about right, Andy, right?
Yeah, big flex from Liverpool, I think, in this one. I'll go 4-0. It's just they have the quality to do that to anybody in the Premier League. And then you take a team that's struggling the way the Palace are, who don't have a tactical or philosophical identity at the moment. It's 11 guys out there kind of doing stuff at the moment, and that's what it looks like. That's the results that they're getting. So I think Liverpool very comfortable in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. I just think, obviously, they won late on, didn't they, at Palace earlier on in the season, got that late win, which was big at the time, but it's going to be a much different game now. I think Palace have lost so many key players and just scrambling. So I think Salah comes up with a couple of goals and just reminds everyone just how good he is and gives Haaland a little nudge in the Golden Boot race. So big win coming up to Liverpool against Palace this weekend. That's what we're predicting, but who knows at this time of the season in the Premier League. All right, make sure you head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest on this one, how to watch information, live analysis, video highlights. We'll have you covered. It's going to be a good one at Anfield. Just a couple more home games for Jurgen Klopp to go as Liverpool boss, and they're going to create another special atmosphere as they try and push Liverpool closer to another Premier League title.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.